Isla could tell you her co-worker's coffee order, her co-worker's dog's name, the exact joke that made her laugh until she cried. She would have called her one of her closest friends. Then Isla got the promotion. Her co-worker said congratulations. The words were right, but her face got there half a second late. And for that half second, something cold moved across it before the smile caught up. Isla brushed it off, told herself she'd imagined it. She hadn't. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what she saw. The plans started slipping first. Can we do coffee tomorrow instead? Became, can we do coffee next week? Then, next week became, whenever things calm down. The jokes changed too. They still laughed, but there was an edge to it now. A punchline that landed a little too close to something real. Eye contact got shorter. Conversations that used to stretch for 20 minutes started wrapping up in 5, with both of them suddenly remembering somewhere else they needed to be. If Isla had asked what was wrong, her co-worker would have said nothing, and she would have meant it. That's what makes this so hard to catch. Nobody sits down and decides to dislike someone out loud. It shows up sideways instead, in the pause before a text gets answered, in a compliment that arrives a beat too late, in a smile that does all the work a real one used to do without trying. Isla told herself she was reading too much into it, but her chest tightened every time they spoke anyway. She caught herself hesitating before she shared good news, softening it, bracing for a reaction she couldn't explain. Her mind hadn't found the words yet. Her body already had. Here's what was actually happening. What Isla was picking up on has a name, but you don't need the term to understand it. It's simply this. Someone can dislike you and still refuse to admit it, even to themselves, because saying it out loud feels too costly. So the feeling doesn't disappear, it just stops going through the front door. Instead, it slips out sideways, a flash of tension right before a compliment, a laugh that lands half a beat too late, warmth that sounds rehearsed instead of automatic, like someone reading their own kindness off a script. And if you've ever left a conversation feeling smaller than you did walking into it, with no clear reason why, this is likely what you were sensing. Not paranoia, not overthinking, just perception, working exactly the way it's supposed to. Your co-worker's smile that day wasn't fake because she was a bad person. It was strained because some part of her hadn't made peace with your success yet, and her face told the truth half a second before her manners caught up. There's a reason Isla's body caught it before her mind did. Researchers who study the human face, including the well-known work of psychologist Paul Ekman, found that a person's real feeling almost always crosses their face for a fraction of a second before they catch it and correct it. Most people never learn to consciously spot that flicker, but almost everyone feels its effect, even when they can't explain why. That's the part that matters most here. You don't need to identify what you saw to be changed by it. Your body reads tone, timing, and the smallest shift in someone's expression faster than your mind can put it into words. Left unaddressed, this quietly costs people more than they realize. Isla started softening her own good news around her co-worker, saying it smaller than she felt it, just to avoid that flicker of tension crossing her friend's face again. Bit by bit, she began doubting a read that had been accurate from the very first day. But here's what most people never realize about this. The discomfort you feel around someone isn't proof that something is wrong with you. Often, it's the most honest information in the entire room. Your unease wasn't the problem, it was the evidence. Eventually, Isla stopped arguing with the tightness in her chest. She didn't confront her co-worker. She didn't need a conversation to validate what she already knew. She simply stopped handing over her excitement to someone who kept meeting it with that same flicker of tension. She still said good morning. She still worked well with her, but she stopped bringing her joy somewhere it wasn't safe to land. And almost immediately, something in her loosened, not because the situation had changed, but because she'd finally stopped fighting her own read of it. That's the real turning point. Isla didn't need her co-worker to admit anything. She only needed to trust what she'd known since that half-second flicker on promotion day. Your instincts have been quietly mapping the people around you, long before your mind caught up with the evidence. Trusting that map isn't overthinking, and it isn't cruelty toward the other person either. It's simply choosing to believe yourself. That half-second flicker on her co-worker's face was never Rye's imagination. It was the truth arriving early, before the smile had time to catch up and cover it. You don't need everyone to like you. You don't even need them to admit when they don't. You just need to stop arguing with what you already know. If this reached something in you, tell me in the comments. One word for how it feels the moment you finally trust that instinct, instead of talking yourself out of it. And if you want more of this, consider subscribing. It helps more of these find the people who need them.